We'll try and go through the questions as quickly as possible to allow everyone enough time to answer them. And hopefully we can get to a couple of questions from the audience at the end. I would ask that everyone be respectful of the candidates as they answer the questions. No cheering or yelling or booing or anything like that. We ask that you keep your emotions intact as we go through this. We'll start by asking each candidate to sort of introduce themselves and talk a little bit about why they're running and what's important to them. And as Kent mentioned, we did a draw, and so we'll start with Randy, and he'll answer or introduce himself, I guess.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? My name is Randy Carter, and I live in Salmon River Bridge. I lived in Hedgeador for a while until our home burned down. I was raised in Brookfield, Colchester County, in a one-room house, you might say, with no oil, no heat, no electricity, no indoor plumbing. I lived there for 12 years or so. And during that time, in my teenage years, I developed, I guess you might say, a mental health problem, which led me to depression. Which led me to depression and addiction, alcoholism, and to be exact, which is a symptom of depression. I battled that for about 20 years. And when in my early 30s, I found a support group, and bingo, 34 years later, I hadn't been hospitalized on medication or had a desire to drink. So I'm proud of that achievement, if nothing else. I was raised in the face of politics in the Diefenbaker days. I don't want to really give away my age too much, but we used to listen to the radio with my uncles to determine whether he'd have a job on the highways if the Tories get in or not. That was the way it went then. I moved on from that to, as I say, getting sober and getting my life in order and getting my depression under control, and hadn't been in hospital for many years. And I decided that I would go to university. I said, why not? You know, and that was after working many jobs in the woods and the lumber yards. I fished in the Grand Banks in Newfoundland and Browns Banks and George's Banks. And in those days, I say this because the fish were like this. You could put your hand in a codfish gill like this, and that's how big they were, and plentiful as you couldn't imagine. It was the days of glory, I'd like to say. But anyways, I moved on, went to Dalhousie University, studied social work, passed that, made the dean's list one year, and as a result of that, I decided to enter the master's program. I stayed there for a while, and I veered off of that, and was involved in what was called a private practitioner program, which licensed me to be able to counsel addicts and people with mental health. So I did that for 20 years or so. That was after, as they say, menial jobs, so to speak. I worked in Waterville as a guard at the Young Offenders Institution. And while in university, of course, studying social work, you were compelled, and I mean compelled, to become an NDPer. So I was an NDPer after being a Tory for a while. I met Jerry Pye and a few of the older politicians. Some of you may remember Jerry. He was a great guy. He never made it into government, but he used to hold workshops in the north end of Dartmouth for people who were running for council and whatnot, under the auspices, of course, of the NDP colors. So I appreciated that. But as life goes on, I met a lady, moved in with her and the family, and
sorry, Randy, if I could ask you just to wrap up. 3 minutes is up.
Holy crow, 3 minutes is up already? Yeah, already. Anyways, my main job was I opened up group homes for the post-mentally ill, took over 300 or 400 people out of the Nova Scotia hospital, placed them in what was called small options in the community, and had great success with them. And with that, I hate to be quiet, but I guess I have to go. I was just getting started. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. We pass the mic now to Kevin.
Thanks very much. Good evening and welcome, everybody. My name is Kevin Murphy, and it's been my pleasure to serve as your MLA since October 2013. My family and I have been residents of the Eastern Shore since 1978, and we are all proud to live, work, play, and go to school here on the Eastern Shore. As your MLA, I've worked hard to bring about significant provincial investments in our area, with millions of dollars in paving to our local roads, hundreds of thousands of dollars of improvements and upgrades to our many local provincial parks, hundreds of thousands of dollars in grants to support the great work of the dozens of local community groups. I've initiated and championed the discussions on replacement facilities for our local education infrastructure, our healthcare infrastructure, and the repurposing of our existing infrastructure to meet other needs in our communities. I've stood with our Eastern Shore community to foster and protect our growth potential on the Eastern Shore, and also to protect the shore way of life within HRM. I think the mic is drooping. Most importantly to me, I've provided assistance to over 1,000 individual personal cases that have come through the constituency door. As MLA, I've played a leadership role in bringing about legislative change that has supported the significant growth of our Nova Scotia microbrewery and spirit industry. And I'm extremely proud of my leadership role in our province's historic accessibility legislation, which became law this past spring. We are only the third province in Canada to have such legislation, which will serve as the framework for enabling the over 200,000 Nova Scotians living with disabilities and their families to reach their full potential. I've proudly served as Speaker of the Nova Scotia House of Assembly since October 2013, and I'm currently the third most senior Speaker in Canada, putting me in leadership roles in the Canadian Parliamentary Association, Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and the Council of State Governments with our American friends to the south. I'm proud to be the first MLA from the Eastern Shore to serve as Speaker of the Nova Scotia House of Assembly. Together, we have accomplished much on the Eastern Shore, but there is still much work to do. As your MLA, I have established solid working relationships with both the municipal and federal governments, and I'm optimistic that together we can achieve our goals of enabling the growth along the Eastern Shore and ensure a more vibrant and sustainable future for all of our current families and those potential families that would like the chance to call our Eastern Shore their home. I look forward to the opportunity to continue working with you and our community as we move forward together. And I want to thank everybody here for the kind invitation, especially the Chamber, to come tonight, and I look forward to the questions. Thank you.
Andy. Hi folks, I'm Andy Berry, your Green Party candidate. I haven't seen a room split like this since probably my sister's wedding. Green side, bride side. So if you don't count my time as a Cub Scout leader, this is my very first time that I've engaged in any sort of public service. And because I've never done this before, I ask myself, what the heck are you doing here, Andy? And what I'm doing here is trying to help make sure that Nova Scotians have something that they can vote for rather than vote against. I'm here to help make sure that they've got a choice that they believe in and not just something they like least. There's that old saying that if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And to be honest, I'm not all that thrilled about what I've been getting. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. And the more people I talk to, I find that it's not doing a whole lot for them either. Suffering healthcare and education systems, struggling small communities, apparent favoritism about where the money goes, these are actual causes for concern. And if you throw in the very real and very urgent needs for sustainable environmental stewardship and clean sources of renewable energy, I can't help but think that whatever it is that we're doing it wrong. When I stop to think on it more, most of us focus a lot more on the getting than the doing, and we shouldn't. There's a lot more we can do to get us to where we want to be. The most important step And I think the very first thing to do is to describe what is truly important to us, what we as a community value the most. You need to actually picture that place where we're all happy and healthy and very proud of the work that we've done. And the next thing we need to do, it's tough, but you have to commit to getting there. In my workday life, I'm Director of Solutions Delivery for a medical device and software company. It's kind of a fancy title, but what I actually do is I help teams and I help businesses figure out what it is they want to do, and then I help them get there. Over the years, I've helped fix broken workplaces, broken processes, and every now and then I help fix broken promises. I don't do it all myself, far from it. To transform a situation to something better, everyone needs to pitch in. Everyone needs to be engaged and ready to do what they can. But here and now, I'm starting with me. And if you're ready for it, and if you're ready to expect better, and if you're ready to actually do better, then I'm ready to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy, and we'll hear from Patricia now.
Good evening, community members, neighbors, supporters,